All right, hey everyone. Today we're talking to Rob Matzkin, a serial entrepreneur, investor, and performance coach. He's built and exited multiple companies, led teams across 20 plus industries, and raised capital from markets around the world. And Rob is also behind the Bond Summit, a global trust-first movement helping leaders align purpose with business growth. So if you want to learn how to scale with clarity and fundraise with conviction, you have got the right episode. Rob, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, and what a wonderful intro, Phil. Could you just hop on every sales call I do and just introduce me? No problem, right?
You bet. I'll be there anytime. Hey,
Thanks,
Rob,
man.
I am super keen to catch up and to talk a bit about where you've come from, because the research that we've done shows that you're an entrepreneur from a long, long way back, and you've seen a lot of different things
Yep.
in the world. I think right now, things around the Bond Summit are really important because trust matters probably more than it ever has before. So I'm very keen to get into that. But before we do, let's go back in time a little bit to your backstory. What is the Rob backstory?
The Rob backstory, it's actually pretty simple. Growing up, had no self-confidence, was extremely shy. If you asked me at 8 years old, I couldn't read at all. So I was severely dyslexic. So I didn't even really get a grasp of reading and writing really till about fifth grade, when I went to a specific school that really supported me in that and changed my life. And then slowly gained confidence and my identity through being an outstanding athlete, or a standout athlete, I should say. So I found that in wrestling, and I was a collegiate athlete and was a college wrestler. So tenacity was my modus operandi for a very long time, because that's what I needed. But dyslexia taught me everything, and it's everything as an entrepreneur, right? Because what it really taught me, even till today, is, because I'm still dyslexic, I'm just able to function and read and write, and and I found my brilliance and I found my zone of genius, but through entrepreneurship. But I see the world differently every day. I function with the world differently every day, and I always have, and I probably always will. And AI, now that I'm really incorporating it to my workflows and how I work, and really once I realize that this isn't Google, it's not a search engine, it's your assistant. Mm-hmm. And the more I have conversations with it and treat it as assistant, I'm like, holy cow, all my deficits that I employed assistants and teams to do all this stuff that was hard for me, and now it's making all those things really easy and quick and affordable, and I can really turn things around. So anyway, that's kind of me in a nutshell, from my background. Yeah.
Rob, I'm smiling. For those who are listening, I'm smiling all the way through that, because I think you've just described more or less my upbringing, minus the wrestling. Everything you've just described is pretty much on point for me as well. We were looking into your history, and, some of the early entrepreneurial work that you did. I think we've got here even parking cars at, earning $20K a week, moving things through. It's one of those things that most people in organizations just never think about. They've gone into a profession, it's pretty linear. They're moving through the levels. They're trying to work out how to balance life in that way. And we've taken obviously a very different path. But how did those early ventures or adventures sort of shape the way you thought about doing partnerships with other businesses? Because there's only so much that we can do any given day, right? So I'm just curious about, how did that shape your way of thinking? Actually, I could probably do more if I partnered with others.
Well, you asked 4 questions at once. I'll do my best. But in the sense that, so the question is, how did it shape my partnerships? And really, so to the first bit of the question, I learned by getting punched in the mouth, right? I got sick of people hating me after working together. Mm-hmm. The parking lot, it was a weekend, and it was the U.S. Open golf tournament that came, and I parked cars at my parents' house, and it was a great little thing. But I employed my friends and my girlfriend, and my best friend hated me, my girlfriend hated me, everybody hated me, because they're like, "Where's our piece of the action? And where's our profit share?" And like no, I paid you $20 an hour. That was good. This was 20-something years ago. That it was good. You guys did well, and it was this whole thing, and And then they didn't like who I was as a boss, and my communication wasn't great, and all these different things. So, for example, right, and then I also learned many other hard lessons throughout business and partnerships. And I think the thing that shaped my view on partnerships more than anything else is actually a Chinese proverb. And let me see if I could do well reciting this proverb. If you're in a negotiation, the fair price is 10. You could get 9. You could get 9 from you could get you could get the product for $9, and there's also other options giving 11, 12, or $14, overpaying, right? And the Chinese proverb states, if you could get 9, give 11. Fair price is 10, give 11. And why give 11? Well, if you take 9, everybody will be like, F that guy. Don't want to ever speak to him again. Forget him. He's ruthless. He sucks. I don't want to do business with him. Do 10, and it's like, all right, it was nice doing business with Rob. Cool. We'll do business again. Won't remember him, but when he comes around again, we'll do business. But that guy, Rob, he gave me 11. Holy cow, that changed everything for me. I could afford 11. It made it work. Everybody was happy. Everybody raves about me. Everybody loves doing business with me. There's none of this like, it's so funny when I go to markets across the globe and you're haggling with the local vendor and you're like, I'm going to get that extra, I'm going to extra $1. I'm going to win. I know he's trying to screw me. And it's like, dude, the dollar to this guy or gal is probably worth a lot more than that dollar is to you. Probably a lot more.
Yeah.
And I don't try and bargain. Now, I'll play the game. I'll have fun. I'll haggle. I'll make sure I'm not paying 3x more or trying to get hosed, right? But I kind of take that methodology. And by the way, if you're negotiating against me right now and you're listening to this and you're trying to get one over on me, I'm going to know. I'm going to know. So, but where's the fair and where's that 11, right? Because that's what I'm looking for. I want a win-win. I want us all to do business together. I don't need to get one over on you, and don't dare get one over on me because I'll know. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of the way it shaped my perception on partnerships.
Yeah, I love that. And when you think about all those travels you've had right around the world, I mean, mm-hmm. are there many differences that you see around the world when it comes to having those negotiations and the partnerships, or is it really just an underlying human kind of way of exchange that sort of permeates through all those different things?
Oh, it's different. It's different. Yeah, it's really different because I've done business. I've done business in New York. I've done business in Miami. I've done business in Denver. I've done business, and I've lived in these places. Florence, Italy, Hamburg, Germany, Tel Aviv, Israel for a really extended period of time. Haven't made it down under to your neck of the woods yet. But you guys are Brits anyway. You're I'm just antagonizing everybody now. You're part of the Commonwealth. It's okay. But no, what's the phrase going around right now? The U.S. innovates, Europe regulates, and what's the third? I can't remember. But when I was in Germany, the way everybody thinks is so engineering mindset and so rigid, and it's like, you never walk into a shop and start negotiating the price. Mm. And when I was in Israel or anywhere in that region, it's like you could walk into a shop in a mall, be like, I'm going to negotiate. And you're like, what? There's a price tag on it. You can't negotiate. It's in the store. It's not the market. You can negotiate. So, and them also in the Middle East, especially in Israel, they're extraordinarily direct. And I've also done business in Saudi and Bahrain and the UAE, but they're also very different in that sense. But in Tel Aviv, they'll say something straight to your face, and want to get a position, but they're also trying to be transparent of where they're at as well. Yeah. And I can't negotiate with Israelis. My business partner did. I lost my mind. I'm like, you handle it. You're better at it. You'll be happy at the end of the day. I won't. So anyway.
It's interesting, right? What I've found in the US versus China versus other parts of Asia, India, is that the time horizon that they're negotiating over is vastly different. When we've done bigger deals out of Singapore or Malaysia, they're looking for a generation's time in terms of return. Like they want to make money now, right? Don't get me wrong. It's not that they're putting down the track of making the money back, but they think very differently about, if I'm going to get in this deal, if we're really going to invest, and I mean really invest, then they're looking for something for their children. They're not looking for something in the next, next quarter, next financial year. It's pretty interesting.
That's beautiful. To be transparent, I haven't done much in APAC. That's a big blind spot for me.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to get you down here. There's no problem about that.
Thanks.
Rob, there's a view that's emerged online around you being very focused on referral-based networking and, paying it forward, the trust that comes with that. Tell me more about that and why that's so important to you.
Yeah, obviously we've all heard this at this point, but your network is your net worth, right?
Yeah.
And I truly believe that. And I spent a lot of time over the last 5-10 years really making sure I'm one of the richest people in the world in that sense, right? So referral marketing, man, it is tough though. I built the name for myself with it. I asked my friends for help and support. And you really find out really quickly who your friends and who your acquaintances are. And referral marketing, so there's a few different things, right? If you're asking your friends in your network for support and you're going to create a proper partnerships program, and it sounds like we're speaking to a lot of partnership professionals here, so I don't mean to speak in a 101 level, but the first thing we really need to look for is, well, what's in it for the other person, right? Is it to help Rob out? Okay, I've won a lot of goodwill, like people will help me out, but they're not going to be motivated. And the more successful they are, what's the best tack? Is it going to be an altruistic tack, or is it going to be some sort of like mutually beneficial tack, or I could then help and support you and I owe you one and I'm going to make some intros for you? Or is it, and what I'm capable of, or is it purely financial?
Yeah.
Right. And the more transparent we are with that, I think that's when it's successful. It's like transparent, great communication, and really just clear on what we want. I think a lot of times when I see it go sideways is I'm not very clear. I'm trying to manipulate somebody in not a necessarily malicious way, but I've retrospectively looked at it, things that when I do postmortems is go, oh, I was actually manipulating that person. I wasn't intending to, but I wasn't clear that, no, I was going to do this for you, but I really wanted that.
Yeah.
And I was trying to right? So I was being sneaky. I was being a little nasty, and that's, it never passes the smell test. They'll never go. I can't tell you how many partnerships I've created. By the way, cut me off at any point. Partnerships that I've created that just didn't go anywhere. People are like, yep, signed on dotted line, and they just fizzle, right? But the most successful ones were transparent. There's goals, there's KPIs, we're checking in, and there is a motivational structure in place that they really want.
Yeah.
Right? Like the partnership I'm working. Yeah. So, yeah.
Hey, look, speaking my language, one of the things that we've found to be really helpful is if a deal doesn't come with a first win within the first 6 months, that's been really well thought through, that people can go, I'm really excited about that. In addition to everything you just mentioned, over 80% of those deals fail when compared to those that have the first win baked in.
Yeah. I would change that 6 months, maybe 6 weeks, maybe 6 days.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. It's not like right there, 6 months. I mean, listen, enterprise, everything's different. The horizons are different, the whole, right. But small, medium-sized business. And we're just, if it's not 6 days or 6 weeks, I think we're just going to get caught up in our own business. And if we're working towards something and there's like connection every day, but or every week or every month to really reinforce that or something momentum wise driving it. But yeah,
I get that. I totally get that.
I mean, it's your fact, but yeah, I mean, 6 months, that sounds like a while, but I completely agree with it.
Yeah. Look, it's really around enterprise. So it's one of those things where the cogs turn slower, but the sooner you can get that win out the door, right, the better it can be. Really good.
Yeah. And so if you could close it, I mean, 6 months to a closed deal, that's pretty quick in enterprise. But I'd imagine 6 months before you're like seeing some sort of real traction.
Correct.
But even so, if you're not seeing traction, I think like some sort of positive feedback within weeks along that value chain, I would even go further.
I like where you're going with that. Rob, you've talked a lot, this idea of referral. So I just want to double click on this for a minute, because obviously trust is pretty important here. You've built a massive network. It's something that precedes you. When you think about most of your days, like, how are you cultivating that? Like, it's one thing for people to think, I really want to build trusting relationships. Are there things that you do that you think are different to most others as you think about building trust?
Yeah, I stumbled into this and I got really lucky. And now it's kind of apparently my thing. But when I was younger, I've always cooked. My grandmother taught me. You're like, where's this conversation going? So my grandmother taught me how to cook it too, and I was making scrambled eggs like on a step stool, like with my grandma too, and I was always cooking and helping out, and the sous chef. And my grandfather was, he wasn't Italian, but it was like the old Italian guy, like telling my grandmother how to cook, more basil, more this, and the backseat driver. they were a beautiful little couple had a thing going on. Anyway, so in any case, I always cooked for my friends in high school. And at some point I wanted to be, my dad's like, you do whatever you want. I'm like, I want to be a chef. He's like, no, you're not being a chef. He's like, you can do everything right and still fail. And you're going to work 16 hours a day. That's the worst career path. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to be a chef. I'll be an entrepreneur. And got a degree in business management. Anyway, flash forward, COVID. I was in Miami Beach. We didn't really have COVID. We had COVID for a few months. After that, it didn't exist for us. We were, so in any case, I go, I just moved to Miami 6 months prior. I'm going to invite everybody I know in Miami, and I'm going to cook dinner for them. So all 7 people I know in Miami came over for dinner. They came over for Shabbat dinner, and I cooked for them. The next week, did it again because it was awesome. We had all 7 people over. Fast forward, a few weeks later, I invited 14 people. I had people invite people. Then I did 20, then we did 25, then we did 30. Then somehow I send out about 50 invites. I make food for 50. And I cook in my 1-bedroom apartment overlooking the beach. I cook for 50 people. We have a sit-down dinner. I have 29 shares. Sometimes it's 35, sometimes it's 20. Again, it's Miami. I don't know when people are showing up and if they're showing up, but so I've hosted about 90 dinners for people where I cook. I have you in my house. And until recently, nobody's ever come more than once, or like my 2 best friends came more than once, and it was able to, there's something special when somebody cooks for you, especially in these states these days. Nobody has a home cooked meal. I don't know about down under, and especially in my age demographic, and nobody invites anybody over anymore. So. And then there's something special about me being able to cook for you and being in my house. And just when we do, before we sit down for dinner, I ask everybody, we go around, you have 20 seconds to tell me what you're up to and how somebody can help you. You don't ask for help, you don't ask for money. But how somebody else can help you, right? Yeah. And everybody kind of gets to know each other, and then everybody runs and sits down. And by the end of the night, it's really cool. Everybody's like made a best friend, and it's something special. So everybody remembers me for putting it together, and I'm usually there to help everybody out. So I've created 2,000 acquaintances that way, and some really, really close friendships. And sometimes I meet people there, and I'm like, not a big fan. And then a year later, I'm like, wow, that person's great, and we really connect. And some of my closest friends have come out of that too. So
that is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah.
It's a lot of work. I didn't think it was a lot of work. And then I'm like, wow, this is a lot of work.
Well, I mean, 50 people, 1-bedroom apartment cooking. I mean,
it's a big apartment. It's still big. But
sure.
The cooking is easy. The dishes.
Not great. That's not great. That is I did not expect that. And that is an awesome story. Yeah, the things that don't scale and the stuff that really returns. That's really cool.
Yeah. But so just one thing, the things that don't scale, we're also focused on scaling. We don't need to necessarily worry. Figure out something that works. And so what if it doesn't scale? It still works. And I guarantee we figure something that there's a way of scaling it if it really works that well.
Sage advice. Let's go to the other end of that spectrum, Rob. Like when you see that partnerships are going to break or they're going to shift, What are you looking for in a deal or a relationship where it's like, I'm not sure
Sorry, when
about
you
this?
say break, I just want to make sure I'm not lost in British English.
Yeah.
Versus
So if you get a sense that a partnership is not going well, and that based on your experience, it's likely to have to come to
yeah,
an end. Like, what are you
yeah.
looking for? What are the signals you're looking for?
What are the signals for that it's not going to work out anymore, or
Yeah.
what are the warning signs?
Yeah. Bit of both.
Yeah, I mean, the warning signs is probably communication. The warning
Mm-hmm.
signs is lack of, like, it's stalling, right? So let's take an enterprise sales cycle or an enterprise partnership. There's going to be a successful one is going to be have KPIs, right? Ultimately,
Yep.
the KPI, like you pointed out, it's like if we don't win business in 6 months, it's not going to work out. Okay, cool. But there's going to be 2 to 8, probably let's just call it 4 KPIs along the way, right? You're making intros, we're getting second calls, things are moving forward, where we have some momentum, like whatever those KPIs are, and numbers of those. If we're not meeting any sub KPIs along the way, there's some yellow flags going off.
Yeah.
If what we spoke about is drastically different than what you're delivering, those are yellow flags going off. If I have multiple yellow flags going off, probably not. I'm probably looking for other opportunities rather than other partnerships.
Yeah. That makes sense. One of the things that I've found is that when communication goes off, it usually goes off quickly. Like, it goes to silence quickly when it comes to partnerships. People thought it was pretty good, signed the deal. Things were interesting and exciting for 2.5 minutes. And then all of a sudden, no one's returning calls. Usually because the person that signed the deal has handed it off to someone else that doesn't know what's going on. So they've got no context.
Yep.
I assume you've seen similar.
Yeah. So, it was interesting. I have an investment. They just pulled the phoenix from the ashes.
Right.
And we were just on the investor call with them updating us. And they're like, we finally got the big enterprise to be our partner, and it's going to be amazing. And we're going to do channel sales for them. And I did this one through my family office with my dad. And we're sitting chatting on the side, and we're going, can they and do they? And I'm like, how? And it's a conference call with all these investors to reinvigorate this whole group. And I'm going, how mean do I want to be? And they go, and I'm trying not to be. I'm really not. And then I go, and I interject, and it ended up working out great. And I was polite, but I'm like, guys, talk to me about this partnership process. Mm-hmm. And they go, well, here's the deal. Not only are we working with the head of the department, and they said a few things. They're like, the head of the department has, and it's a big Fortune 50 company. They have budget. We're going to be their marquee at convention spaces. And they're going to push us there. And there's very few revenue streams for this particular department. And this head of the department is looking at this partnership as a revenue stream for him. Mm-hmm. And he has budget to put behind it, and he's already allocating budget for it. And I go, ooh, those are some cool partnerships. And based on that, I need to either reinvest because I got diluted or not.
Yeah.
And I go, those are some really good partnership metrics that I actually need to double down on and put an investment back in, because that's what a solid partnership looks like. There's, again,
Correct.
KPIs. He has budget behind him. He has putting resources behind it. And most importantly, he's being judged on this, and he sees this as an opportunity for him to make his name. Yeah. Right. So going back to answer your question, the original thing we spoke about, incentivization structure, is it aligned? Is it not only aligned with the person that's signing the deal, but now the person that's executing it? How do you then create incentivizations for them?
Yeah.
Right? Because we all know in enterprise sales, forget about partnerships, in enterprise sales, people buy things, not corporations. But the number one rule of thumb is, who is your product champion? Who's going to risk their career because they're going to make their career on this or not? And if you don't have that, nothing's happening.
Exactly. Great summary. Let's switch tact to the Bond Summit. I've been looking forward to learning about this since we had a chance to book this. Tell me about the Bond Summit. Why does it mean so much to you, and how would people learn about it if this is the first time they're hearing about it now?
Yeah. So I created the bond. Why it means something to me because I'm selfish, and I created it from a very selfish place. And I like being cheeky with you.
I love
But
it. Let's
no,
go.
so I was desperate in Miami, especially moving to Miami, to be around entrepreneurs, be around smart, ambitious people, but be around purpose-driven people.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find it, and it's hard to find, I think, anywhere right now. And I wanted to create a community of ambitious, smart, purpose-driven entrepreneurs that want to make a difference in the world. And I want to get behind them. And my partner, Joe, wants to get behind them, right? So at the Bond Summit, what do? We either support purpose-driven entrepreneurs or we support you in becoming a purpose-driven entrepreneur, right? Whatever your purpose is, right? But your impact using your corporation, your business opportunities to move the needle forward in something that you're passionate about that's going to change the world.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be, oh my God, I'm going to fix the climate or whatever it is. It could be smaller and much smaller. But it's, some of our members are change the way people, changing telecommunications, solving diabetes, curing the health and fitness and the way we drink,
Yeah.
right? Making an impact. So our whole thesis is how do we support that? And every time we come together twice a year, it's how do we make an impact with our members to do that?
Why did the first people come and join you at this? Your first cohort of members, what was the thing that they saw in this that attracted them to it?
Oh, that's a great question. Not my smile. It was Joe's smile. But she's great. She's way more bubbly than me. But, I think people said yes because they believe in the thesis that, yeah, it's there's a book, The Hard Things About Hard Things. It's a lonely, it's a lonely road
It is. Yeah.
as an entrepreneur. And I think it's a lonelier road as somebody who wants to make a difference out there as an entrepreneur and be a B Corp or be a triple bottom line business, not just be accountable to making money, but accountable to our employees and making an impact out there and really being an empathetic or empathic leader, right? Somebody who really wants to raise tides, not just raise a bank account. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And I think a lot of people are attracted to that. We have similar communities here that we've built off the back of the same thesis. Super important. And if you're not in that game, you just won't get it. But if you are, you'll be craving it. It's super important.
Yeah, and
Hey, Rob,
we and one more thing. We're a product of the closest people in our life, right? And if the closest people in our life, let's just say our business life, aren't purpose driven and are ruthless, that's how we're going to end up.
Yeah.
Right. And I've gotten skewed with different business partners in different aspects, different girlfriends, whatever that is, and I see myself self shift, right? And I'm really strong and powerful in who I am and my identity and what I'm up to. And I still see that shift. So it's even more important for that community to bring you and center you. So sorry I cut you off.
I've got a rapid fire to wrap this up, Rob. But before we get to that, I'd love to know if you were sitting in front of a bunch of newish entrepreneurs, they haven't really done this much before. They're still finding their feet on what they're trying to deliver in terms of impact. And they've heard you talk about trust. They've heard you talk about referrals and partnership. What sort of advice are you giving them to get off on the right foot so that they maybe don't make all the mistakes you and I have made in our careers in terms of partnering with others?
Well, you asked a few questions there, but so basically, what is my best advice to new entrepreneurs? Well, I'll answer a few questions that I heard. My best advice to new entrepreneurs is test everything, and don't be afraid of the answer, right? I've spoken to way too many entrepreneurs that have invested everything, hundreds of thousands of dollars, improving their initial idea to be right, instead of be willing to that idea and thesis be wrong. It's okay if it's wrong. What matters is finding the idea, not your idea. That's my biggest advice, right? I guess my biggest advice is if you're that early, talk to me and we'll figure it out together. But the other thing is, somebody asked me a similar question, I think 2 weeks ago on a podcast, and I said, this is what came out, and this is on my background now. Be vulnerable, be yourself, be authentic, be trustworthy, and anything is possible.
Yeah, I love that. And you're right. You're 100% right. Rob, I've loved our conversation today. I've got a rapid fire to work with you through now.
Awesome.
5 questions. You good?
Yep. I'm good. Let's go.
All right.
Hold on. How long do I have for each question?
You can take as long as you like.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not rapid fire, but I'll go quick.
Well, let's see. So, complete this sentence. Partnership is
mutual.
What content are you loving right now? And it can be anything.
Authenticity.
Love it.
Authentic.
What's the worst piece of advice you've received and why?
It's not how much I have to say, but I figure out what to say. Nobody leaves me speechless these days. Sorry, ask me the question again. Now I just got myself lost in my own babble.
What's the worst piece of advice you've received and why?
What's the worst piece of advice I've received and why? I think it was the only advice I gave to myself. First movers win. The first mover advantage is the biggest myth. Right now. So a few things. The first mover advantage is the biggest win. I'm looking for is one, and then the biggest. So the way I'm thinking right now with AI, right? Everybody's like, we're going to lose millions of jobs, hundreds of millions of jobs. We're screwed. We're going into the 4th industrial revolution. It's here. It's coming. I am choosing this. I'm choosing 2 things. One, the only thing is the next 5 years are going to be uncertain, and I need to thrive in uncertainty. And 2, it's going to go great. The economy is going to go huge. And every industrial revolution that we've gone through has created more jobs, more opportunities. And for 25 years after the revolution happens, the economy goes through the roof. And the only choice I have from a mental standpoint is to say it's going to go great. Because guess what? If it doesn't, it doesn't. And we're all screwed anyway, and there's nothing I could do to solve it.
Yep.
But if I'm right and the next 25 years are up and to the right, well, let's friggin' plan for it and let's take advantage of it and let's ride that wave. And we don't need to invent the wheel, but let's jump on something that's working great and take advantage and ride the wave.
I love all of that. I'm with you on it. Question 4. When you see a potential partnership, what's the first thing you do to turn that potential into action?
So people buy from people that they like, know, and trust. It's Tony Robbins' quote, right? I get somebody to like me, know me, and trust me, right? I just created a new partnership. He would change his whole business based on our 15-minute call. Gave me like a 20-page presentation. We still need to figure it out. But I was really authentic. He liked me. I let him know me, and he got to trust me. 15 minutes.
Yep. That's all it takes. Last question.
He didn't try and sell him anything. He sold me. So anyway.
And that's the best way. That's the best way business can be done. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Last question. What's one thing you're deeply grateful for right now?
One thing? I do a gratitude every day. I'm grateful for a few things. I'm grateful for my friends, my family, my health, my life, and the opportunities that are in front of me.
I love that. Rob Matzkin, where can people find out more about you? We're going to send them there. What destination should we send them to?
But everything's Rob Matzkin. Rob Matzkin at Gmail. Feel free to email me, robmatzkin.com, Rob Matzkin on LinkedIn, on Instagram. Happy to talk to anybody. And of course, Bond Summit. Happy to answer any questions and support you guys. And Phil, you're tremendous. You're great at this. So you might be able to give up the day job.
That's it. Hey, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate your time today. It's been unreal. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Before you go, I have a quick question for you. Do you worry that you're wasting time, money, and credibility with the wrong partnerships? It's exhausting to pretend everything's fine while secretly worrying that you've made the wrong call. You see others thriving with the right connections, and you're stuck wondering if you're missing out on opportunities that could really elevate your business. Well, the good news is that ends today, because you can download my free partner calculator that instantly assesses if a partner is an ideal fit for your business. It'll give you the clarity and the confidence and the edge you've been looking for to secure high-value partnerships that not only finally unlock business growth, but also help you reclaim your time. The link is in the show notes. And I'm really glad you're here. I'm Coach Phil Hay Sinclair. I'll see you in the next episode.